Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming devices, streaming content, streaming providers. If you can stream it or stream with it, we're probably going to talk about it at some point. Well, hey, I am Clyde. Today I am joined by Jimmy Trammell.
Hello everyone.
Matthew Ross.
Hello.
And Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
It only took 27 episodes before I finally got the pointing down.
I know.
We got it. Hey, and maybe one more episode before I make sure that the pointing is all in frame. But hey, we are back, and Matt, you are back.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of left us hanging that one day, but then you redeemed yourself. And Mike left us hanging.
What? Mike?
But
it's all right.
It's okay. We are all here, ready to talk about some stuff. What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do this.
All right. How about we talk about a little bit of news? We have a little bit this week. Just
what?
A little bit. First up, we have Netflix. They have announced that they're bringing back Carmen Sandiego, which is one of my favorite shows I've ever watched when I was a kid. And even more so was one of my favorite video games, which in particular my favorite was Where in Time was Carmen Sandiego. They're literally going to be doing their various kid thing when it looks like they're going to be bringing back a couple of those 90s shows. And one of them being Carmen Sandiego. The other one apparently is going to be the Magic School Bus. But I'm totally excited about this.
I'm confused. What exactly are they bringing back? Are they bringing back the game show? The Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Or
the Rockapella or what?
Yeah, with Rockapella or but there was like clips. I'm assuming that looks old. So was there actually a Carmen Sandiego cartoon?
Yes, there was. It was
really?
Actually it was literally trying to be a geography quiz for teaching you kind of thing.
Okay.
And I love Carmen Sandiego because she's like the super spy, super steals everything, always gets away, super awesome.
I remember Carmen Sandiego. That and Oregon Trail were two things that I got to play on the Apple IIe in elementary school.
That's the two things?
That was like the two things. Oh, no, on your birthdays, we got to print out like a banner.
Oh, yeah, print shop.
In print shop, but no, but I don't remember it. Carmen, that's cool though. I mean, right. My question is, are they gonna have her dressed like her picture there? I tune in to see her. Right. I tune in to see her.
Well, she did tweet say she has a fedora already, right?
Whatever the case is, she needs a fedora. Other than that, it doesn't really matter. So
but is her hat really considered to be a fedora? The brim is really big.
Yeah. Well, it just needs that brim. That's the secret.
I was going to say, it's more like a felt sun hat, right?
I don't know. Let's not get technical about hats here.
I like hats, but
me too.
So hey, we'll save that for another show. The Diamond Club hat show. Text me. Go ahead and tweet me names if you got an idea. But all right. Yeah. No, good for them because they did bring back Bill Nye too. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, they've done the previous shows. They've been bringing back like Danger Mouse and other Inspector Gadget. So this is just continuing the same trend, and they've done brilliantly with those other old series they've got back. So I expect the same level of quality to come out of this. I watched, I think, all of what was the time travel one with Sherman and I can't remember the name of the dog and the little kid, and is it absolutely hilarious to watch that entire thing.
Mr. Peabody?
Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Yes, thank you very much.
That's one I need to go back and finish watching. I started watching it and I loved it, and I just kind of forgot about it.
The last episode that ends on an interesting note.
Oh, like a cliffhanger, not a series finale interesting note?
No, not a cliffhanger, but I can't talk about it without ruining it, but
okay.
So you'll just have to watch it. It does end, though.
It does end. All right.
It does.
Nice to know the show has an end.
So it looks like we finally get a little details about Hulu Live, and we're finally getting some information about what it's going to cost, and maybe even a little information on when it should be coming out. Hulu Live is now all the rumor mongers are saying it's going to be costing about $39.99 per month, and that includes all the live channels. And it also will include a DVR function, but it's a light DVR function that won't allow you to skip commercials. Just like with Hulu Plus versus normal Hulu, you will be able to pay extra to get a version where you can skip commercials.
Okay.
And this also includes their video on demand as well, right? The video on demand library, just like a regular Hulu subscriber.
I'm not clear about that right at this moment, but I wouldn't be surprised if it.
That's the way I read it. I thought this was an additional
well.
on top of the existing Hulu thing, but
okay.
Yeah. So like, if I wanted to do what I have now, and I'll pay for the commercial-free version now, which is I think like $12 a month or something like that.
total, yeah.
So then, so it'd be like 43 or $44 a month with this new service. So in essence, I got to pay an extra $32 a month than what I'm paying right now.
Right. So here's the question: is $40 to start too much for this service?
So,
well, it's kind of combining two services into one, right? So in my opinion, no. Because you get the live TV, you get the DVR functionality, and you get the video on demand as well, right?
Yeah,
so,
and you still get the option of premium channels, but I believe that's still going to be at the regular price. Yeah. They're not going to have that bundle goodness that Apple's promising. So then that looks, if you do Hulu Live with the DVR, and you add HBO, Showtime, Stars, you are pretty close to having cable bill again.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, this is high because, $40, that didn't include the unlimited DVR function, which is an add-on.
That's like an additional $5, right?
Yeah, and you can't fast forward. And now, can you fast forward with the unlimited DVR system or no?
It looks like the fast forwarding option is going to be that little $3 or $4 extra, just like it was before.
So by the time you add on all this stuff, it's expensive. I mean, I'm using PlayStation Vue, and it's $30 a month for the base package, and I can fast forward my DVR. Also, I'm not limited at all to the quantity of recording. This is 200 hours, which is very cable company-esque in its quantity, right? Where with PlayStation Vue, I have unlimited for the last 28 days. Any shows I add to my favorite shows, I can watch as much as I want and have as much stored as I want for the last 28 days. So it has that limit of 28 days worth of stuff, but it has an unlimited amount of hours. So this is more DVR setup where you have a limited amount of stuff you can store, but you can keep it for as long as you want, or at least it doesn't indicate you can't keep it after a certain amount of time yet.
Yeah.
So very, very much like a traditional cable company, in my opinion, including the pricing structure.
Well, but what makes it? I mean, is it just the price that makes it so, or what else would it be?
Well, and again, and the DVR and stuff like that, all of the add-ons. That's the other thing is like with a cable company, you see the one price, right? You get those mailers that all the time that say $30 a month for your cable. And then you contact them and it's like, it's $30 for the cable. And then you got to pay $10 for each DVR. And then you got to pay.
There's the taxes, regulations, the standing on my law fee, the poison control surcharge. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've seen that commercial like a million times on AMC.
This is getting a lot closer to that because you're paying for your regular Hulu that you want to be commercial free. You're paying for your TV service. You're paying for your DVR. You're paying for all of the extra channel things. This is, to me, and then when you add on this price plus the fact that you're already paying for your cable, that's exactly what my cable bill was.
Well, I don't know. I think if you're a Hulu subscriber already, I mean, you got a discount. Like for me, I got a discount out the $12 I'm already paying, right? So it's only like $32 more to have all the other features. With it, plus too, I'm going to wait and see. Okay, because there's still some questions, right? Like, what all channels do you get with that?
Yeah.
And what is the UI going to be like? Because I mean, ultimately for me, that's what's one of the main things that's appealing for cord cutting is that the UI is much better than traditional cable, right? Yeah. Traditional cable sucks in UI, right? And so. If they can give me all, I mean, me for one, I can tell you up front, I'm going to try this service as soon as it comes live, right? And I'm going to sign up for it, see what it's like. And that's what I'm going to be looking for is, the channel availability, the UI, and, just see how it goes. If I stay a subscriber or not remains to be seen, but definitely going to give it a go as soon as it comes out. And if I don't like that one, then I may actually try the YouTube streaming, YouTube TV.
Yeah, and I was excited to try this, but not anymore. Not at that price, because I mean, I keep hammering on. I don't care about the live TV at all. Mm-hmm. So the DVR function and all of that, I don't want it. I don't care. But I mean, But I don't see, other than the fact that Hulu is kind of an established name. Pretty much everybody recognizes that name almost as much as Netflix, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If they had done this 6 months ago, it probably would be fine. But now you're coming out after PlayStation Vue, after Sling, after they have name recognition, at a higher price. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know as if I will keep it all the time, right? But, okay, when the Oscars roll around, when the Super Bowl rolls around, right? Things like that, it's like, okay, well, let's turn it on for this month to watch those things. Right now, the NBA playoffs, it would be nice to have a service like this to watch the NBA playoffs. For those occasions, I think it would be good, turn it on for those months. But, to have it, but I tend to agree, to have it turned on month after month when you're not going to be watching it that much. Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
So it's just too early to tell. We just need to have the actual details before we can make any.
No, I am making my final decision now. Based on the information that they've given me, my mind is set.
Based on the rumors, you've decided that you're going to quit. You're going to go ahead and
I'm going to quit my Hulu account out of solidarity.
Right. Well, the interesting question there is, if this becomes really popular, do you think regular Hulu will disappear, or do you think it'll stay around? Because it's a really good deal price wise.
I think if they do that, if they take away the regular Hulu, I think they're crazy if they do that.
But let's put it this way. It's been, 10 years, and Netflix still has DVD subscription, right?
True. That's true. I'm just saying that sometimes you get people in these companies, like committees, especially like Hulu kind of committee, multiple companies working together, and they all make they make a big decision to make a big change, and a lot of people get upset.
Well,
look at Netflix when they decided to go split into two companies, right?
That was
the customers spoke, they listened, and they did away with that.
Yeah, that would probably happen.
So you're saying you weren't Team Quickster?
Oh no. wrote a complaint letter to them, as a matter of fact.
It's sad. I think Quickster has essentially become it has the same notoriety as the name Edsel. It is the Edsel of our generation.
Nice.
Or New Coke.
And it's funny because guess what? Getting your DVD service from Netflix, it's practically what they were talking about before with Quickster.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. It was just a stupid name.
It was a marketing gaffe. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, the way they approached it, the way they did it, that's the only mistake they made. They were right on point with the technological adjustments and the way that what they were trying to accomplish.
Oh yeah, I really totally I totally was on board with what they were doing. I thought the name was a stupid idea. Because then you're just basically alienating. And it's like, just leave it.
Netflix in the box or something like that. And just keep the name Netflix attached to it. Just a different service. Oh well. All right. Well, we have one more story to talk about tonight, and that would be that NBC is finally becoming more cord-cutting friendly. Basically, this story is about the fact that all these different NBC affiliates across the nation have had these individual agreements, which are really hard for the various cord-cutting services to get an agreement that makes sense between all the different providers. What has happened is NBC Universal has made a deal with all of the different individual affiliate stations that basically allows a blanket deal to happen, and for the other stations to basically go ahead and join the streaming services a little easier. So that means, guess what? You might be getting NBC in your streaming service a lot sooner than you would before.
I am skeptical.
Why? Because lawyers are involved?
I don't know. I just don't know if I can get behind that, but I don't know. If it happens, rock on.
I'm excited about this. To Clyde's point, how long it's going to be and when it's going to happen, especially like the local NBC stations, which is ultimately what I care about, is the actual NBC channel, so that I can watch, like Blacklist is one that I just finished watching all of the Netflix content for, and so I can't watch the current season. Getting caught up, if I could pay for a season, I'll probably end up paying for like a season pass or something like that. But that kind of stuff is interesting to me. And the more options I have for shows, the less likely I am to miss something that I want, because I'm using PlayStation Vue instead of paying for a standard cable company.
See, I feel this pain. I feel it because I live in the Seattle area. In the Seattle area, none of the TV channels work with streaming. I don't think there's a single one that streams anywhere. Because I don't know, Seattle does things differently as far as this is concerned. So I never have seen anything. Every time one of these new, I see a story come up and says, "Oh, you're more local channels coming to PlayStation Vue or coming to the Sling TV or something like that." I look and I go, "Anything Seattle? Anything Seattle?" No, nothing ever.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe this means that we'll finally have a channel that's local here that I can get on the streaming. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the PlayStation Vue, I get the content for the main, well, not all of the main, but some of the main channels on my PlayStation Vue. So it's definitely not 100%, but it's better than nothing. And it's better than watching it over the air, which is just horrible and awful.
Rock on. I welcome more players to the field.
Yeah.
Once they're all there, then they can battle. And we will sit back and eat popcorn and wait for the victors.
The big four will suddenly be just other channels that you watch, and suddenly that coveted on prime time thing will kind of go away, and it will just be good shows.
Rock on.
Kind of a good thing, if you ask me.
Cool.
Okay. That's the week's news. We are kind of light on news this week. So.
Well, no, that's good, because we are kind of running a little bit late to begin with. But, I know. It's almost like we had to wait for somebody, but, I don't know. It's probably my fault. It usually is, so.
No, you don't understand. Anytime it's anybody's fault, it's my fault.
Even when I
heard it had something to do with Linux.
Hey.
It's whoever isn't here's fault.
That's right. That's
We're
true
all
too.
Here it's maybe it's VodBot. Maybe it's just
no.
VodBot is not there for you to kick. It's not DCTV bot that was built to be abused and then broken.
No,
VodBot is our friend.
I can't blame him either. Who isn't here that usually is that we can put this on?
Fitz is not here. We blame Fitz.
There we
and
go.
Skills Cat.
Yeah, Fitz is not here. Yeah,
it's his fault. We were right. Gotcha.
Oh yeah, you have to ban Fitz before he'll come back. But no, guys. So for a while, I've been talking about. I've been wanting to get a capture card, a decent capture card, so that when we do the show and you were talking about the Apple TV or whatever, I can throw it up and explain why I hate the menu. Right?
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I finally broke down. I got my new capture card. I hooked it all up, and that's what I see. I was irate. Seriously. So you make a device
hey, Clyde,
to capture content that it can't actually capture. So that brings me to our topic tonight.
Yeah, you can blame it on Intel.
Yep, yeah.
Wow.
But our topic tonight is HDCP.
Oh, that's a great title card.
Absolutely. It doubles. And it is actually I can make it go away and then, well, maybe not. There it is. Oh, I thought it was going to pop up the Android. My Android TV is hooked up. No, the first thing I hooked up to it was the Fire TV stick. I was like, I'll finally get a use for it. And it didn't work. And I said, it's Amazon. Go figure.
Okay.
Android is, awesome and pretty open. So I plugged in my Android TV. Nope. So
I see that, but I see the purple version on one of my oldest TV in the house. Anytime that I use our Roku box and I've plugged it in after the fact, every time.
Did you try your Roku?
No, did he try his Roku?
No, because it's plugged in my entertainment center, and I didn't feel like fishing around behind my kid's TV to get the stick. Okay. But I guarantee it's going to be the same thing. So, I mean, I figured, we haven't really talked about this subject at all in the last almost year. So, for HDCP...
HDCP.
Pause for effect. And I figured, so I know there's probably a lot of people out there that aren't really familiar with what it is or why we even have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the at the bare bones, dumbed down as much as possible, stands for high bandwidth digital content protection. Basically, it is just a way Intel figured out a way to copy protect video streaming from a device to your TV, right? The device talks to the TV, says, hey, are you capable of talking to me? And if it replies yes, then it has to provide a license, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, you see this. Which means if you put your nice fancy new Apple TV into a LCD TV or a monitor that may be a little bit old, you see that. So, I mean, why? Why do we have this?
Because you're a damn dirty pirate.
Because if they didn't have this, everybody in the world would be ripping their Blu-ray streams and recording them to VCRs or whatever and into MP4s and giving them away, or worse yet, selling them online. Because everybody pirates them.
I mean,
but have the choice.
But doesn't that happen anyway? I mean, have they stopped it? I don't think they have. I don't think they're going to stop it. Yet I think what happens is I think the content producers pays companies like Intel to produce such technology, right? I think that's where it comes from. I think it's just an attempt by the content creators to try to protect their properties, which, and I certainly understand why they would want to do that. But I think the better solution, right, is to provide a better way for people to get your content, right? Come up with a better mousetrap to distribute your content, as opposed to come up with some sort of lock to keep people from watching your content.
Yeah, and the other thing is that in order for your device to be HDCP capable, it must not be able to transmit video as well. Which is why, by definition, a capture card will never, ever be HDCP compliant. Because that takes it and then also broadcasts out of it, right?
So I have a question. When would you ever not want to do that?
Run HDCP or...
Yeah, I mean, when would you ever have a capture card and not want to record or capture the video that comes out of it?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Is there a legal example of that? I'm just trying to think of one. Could you please give me an example?
Well, I mean,
Let's Plays on Twitch, maybe?
But those almost all have HDCP enabled.
Exactly.
So
I guess yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of an example that is completely legal. Yes, totally. Capture this video. Maybe it's like out of your own camcorder that's HDMI out or something out like that. I don't know.
No, the camcorders typically will not be, because they are not. That's not commercial content. That's your own personal content, so it's meant to be distributed. Yeah.
Okay.
If you think, like, there are solutions for streaming stuff, right? That are readily available now for like Twitch and stuff. But go back a few years and that wasn't the case, right? So you would use a capture card to capture what you were doing on your computer and stuff to build a Twitch-like interface. And that, at least now, has been deemed to be a legal use of it. So, I mean, there are legal things that you can do. It's not, the common use is illegal, like overtly, but there are a lot of legal reasons. It's kind of like Plex. Plex has a lot of legal uses. It may be largely used for illegal things, but it's not inherently illegal. Now, with HDCP, it arguably is inherently illegal because you are trying to circumvent copy protection, which HDCP is part of. So that might actually become illegal just because it is part of the copy protection scheme.
Now, I mean, a perfect example of a legitimate use would be right here on this show. All I wanted to do was show this, right? Just show the interface of that. I'm not showing any content. All I would be showing is the desktop and the menu system, right? But that is completely blocked. Now, I could understand if it showed you that and then you tried to play a movie and then, it blocked out the movie. Understood. And that is possible because I've seen that done with other devices where you can see the pause and the menu and the title and everything, but the background's like a blue, this is blocked, right? And I mean, it's just frustrating. And I mean, it's another time where they said, hey, we're going to create this nuisance. It's going to solve, they probably sold it. Intel sold it as the fix to end all fixes, right?
Whoops.
Yep, but it is, as anybody knows, easily circumvented. It's so easily that if you go to AverMedia's website, you go to the new capture card. This isn't on the old capture card, the one I've got, But on the new one, there's a big warning that says using an HDMI splitter to circumvent this HDCP is illegal. So they put that up there, but they also, I know they got tired of people complaining. So they basically said, hey, go get an HDMI splitter, but it's illegal. Right?
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm trying to remember, because back in the 80s, we had similar thing with movies, with VHS movies where they had that special thing, right?
Yeah, the regions.
Yeah.
What
not the
region
regions
were
where when you tried to copy it across something, and then it would look all messed up. I was trying to remember what that was called. It was a copy protection scheme.
Mm-hmm.
But
I remember early DVDs and the fact that they would, if you tried to do something to copy or even watch a DVD that wasn't through an HDMI interface, they would fade out and fade in, and fade out and fade in. There was just basically a DVD level copy protection in there too. So this is nothing new. It's been there.
So my question to you guys, is HDCP good? Or is it just bad across the board? Because does it actually do anything? Does it actually prevent anything?
I mean, ultimately, to me, this gets down to the entire question of copy protection in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've ever owned if you've ever utilized Photoshop outside of your professional environment, you very likely utilized a Where's hacked version of Photoshop. One of the more hacked softwares on the planet, right? And they would release ridiculous schemas for authenticating your software to ensure that you were not hacking it. Because while some companies just like HBO took pride in the fact that they were the most pirated software or pirated TV shows with Game of Thrones, Adobe did not do that with their master collection. It was a big deal for their collection to be pirated, even though they weren't losing money, because these people couldn't afford a $4,000 piece of software. They weren't going to buy it. However, they did all kinds of schemes. Within days of the actual software release, there was always a crack and a hack to get around, no matter how complex they made it. It's copy protection is a fool's effort, in my opinion. No matter what you do, people will find a way around it. And people that want to take advantage of that shortcut will, and people that want to pay you for your product will. And people that don't want it or don't want it enough to buy it or steal it are just they're not your customers anyways.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, we are kind of, for the most part, I want to say we're past the big pirating thing, because that was historically it was popular because it was content that was not readily available. Napster was big because you couldn't buy MP3s, right? If you could go out and easily get something, most people are willing to throw a couple bucks as long as it's not way overpriced, like Photoshop, $1,400, but if it was $80 to $100 for what that is, not as many people would be, stealing it. But in the same thing, now that as collections and libraries get more and more robust on these streaming platforms, as stuff becomes more available, why go through the hassle of stealing it or going out and trying to find a copy that's not going to infect your entire system and, turn your computer into a internet slave?
I have not gotten a single virus since I stopped using Where's hacked software and pirated content. Yeah. I will say that. I used to get quite a few.
Yeah, if you want to get viruses and get your identity stolen, then just visit one of the Tor sites and you'll have it.
It's like the dude that stopped getting crabs after he stopped picking up hookers. I mean, there's a cause and effect. But that's the thing is content owners, they want that security. They want that warm blanket of security that HDCP offers them in theory.
Yeah.
Well,
and I mean, ultimately, this is the thing, and it's like what Sergeant Muffin said about software. Software is moving to subscriptions, and they do that because it provides a more reliable stream of income. It actually makes them understand what their income is going to be, and the thing is that if you offer value to your customers, then that's going to work. A subscription that has upgrades and updates and continual use value, like Adobe's Creative Cloud is $50 a month for an individual user. That I could do, even though that equates to $600 a year, which is a fairly significant amount of money. That's much more reasonable than saying I'm going to buy the Creative Master Suite, which was like $4,000 or something like that, and you had to drop that all at once. So that's a totally different type of scenario. And by getting that software and getting continual updates, I get all of the upgrades and stuff. That's worthwhile. Same thing with companies like Netflix and PlayStation View and Hulu and stuff. As long as they continue to provide valuable content and something of interest, then people will pay for it and they'll take the easy solution. And the people that they would have been able to get money from in the first place are giving them money. Copy protection basically prevents freeloaders from freeloading, but they're not viable sources of income. They're just freeloaders.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, you're always going to have, no matter what, you're going to have the freeloaders, you're going to have the pirates, but...
Well, they're all, I mean, we've seen this story play over and over again, right? Over the last several years, right? And, and that's the thing. I mean, it's just like with music, how they say, the millennials now won't pay for music and this kind of thing. Well, now, they're coming out with music subscriptions. You got your Spotify's and everybody else that's offering streaming music now. And I mean, they're getting millions of subscribers out there doing that. And the thing is they have done their homework, done their research, and have come up with a better way to deliver it to their customers. If you did, that's what it's about. Worry about delivering to your customers as opposed to trying to put locks on, and different technologies to protect what you got.
Yeah, if you make stuff that's worth buying and doesn't require you to reinvent the wheel to get it, people are going to buy it. Yeah, there will always be no matter what, there are always going to be people that rob convenience stores. There are always people that are going to mug people. But that's a small percentage of the market. If you penalize all of your potential customers, you minimize the return on investment. So, so
you just hit it the nail on the head. It's all DRM ever does is penalize people who want to use the service and maybe even paid for it.
Yep.
The people who don't pay for it get around it and they don't care.
Yeah.
They have no moral problem just going around anyways.
It's like every other law out there that is common sense, that penalizes the people that weren't going to do it anyway. Right? But I don't know. And I mean, I had one more question. And we already established it doesn't really work. There are easily ways to get around it. It took me a total of, I think, 3 minutes with one search result to find the exact model of thing that I needed, and I had it purchased.
Yay!
And I mean, it'll be here tomorrow. because it
Yay.
happens to be the one. It is such a popular item. It happens to be in the Amazon warehouse in my area, so I got it for free 1-day delivery. And
Nice.
yeah, it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
They actually just knew you were going to need it, so they already had it on the way.
It's because Amazon knows what you're doing and what
Well,
you need.
that's
Your
even
previous
more scary
purchases.
because I got the capture card from Newegg. Yet
Well, they are
Amazon knew that I
They are
purchased
the board.
it.
Resistance is futile.
resist.
I'm gonna unsubscribe for good from Amazon. I just renewed. I just turned it back on so I could watch Bosch this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
It would
But
be.
you can't.
It would have
Right.
been much better if you had bought that card from them and then like it was like, oh, it's already on the way because we know you need.
Oh
this.
yeah, that would have been cool. They should have bundled it. No, I mean I'm not super angry because I picked it up on a whim. I've been putting it off because I found out the main reason I wanted it initially was to offload some of the encoding, video encoding off my CPU. Which is all good and great if you were recording locally in H.264. And I don't know. We can add this to my rant. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about this before we move on?
I have an
Go ahead.
interesting kind of related subject. Over this last week, we rented a movie on Amazon. My wife picked out
You
a
paid
show.
for it.
I know.
Wow.
No, that's sorry. We do that every once in a while. And I got to thinking, it's a really decent movie. I'd love to be able to hold on to that. But I was just thinking, I remember back in the day of HBO, I remember the fact that I could record that on VHS. Why can't I do that now? Technically, I'm streaming this from a service. What's the difference? So I looked it up. It's kind of in a gray area legally. It should be legal because that's called time shifting. Anything that is being streamed or being a show that is being presented to you, you have the right to record it. It's totally against your terms of service, but it's technically legal. But the other story that came out of that was, of course, everybody's talking about what happened to Aereo. And Aereo is not time shifting, but place shifting. Your antenna is not here, it's somewhere else, so you can get your streamed video. And that was not legal for some reason. Anyways, so technically, and there are actually utilities you can get down there to take a streamed video and record it, and there you go, you're done. You've just made a copy of your movie. And so
But again, I think that the key here is there any copy protection? So if it is streamed in some sort of encrypted and copy protected way, then I think you would still be in violation of the DMCA by ripping that, just like you would be a Blu-ray with Handbrake if it's copy protected. So
that's true of the stream itself, but the actual bits that come out of the stream are not. That is analog. That's the analog whole. If I put a camera in front of my computer screen while it was showing it and recording it, perfectly okay. Now,
Exactly.
Now here's the next question.
Well,
if I go ahead and display the show on my screen, and then I re-encode my screen, technically it's been decrypted by that point.
I'm not sure. I mean, I
Because
don't know.
I could use
think
OBS
this-
and I can
this gets
record
down
my
into
screen.
like the esoterica, right? Like we're talking about the esoterica of this law. The law states you can't circumvent copy protection. So is it circumventing copy protection to wait until it's been decoded by your device and then record it physically? I guess
I'm watching the movie is circumventing copy protection. Then I argue, sir. That's no.
Yeah, that's why I said I think that it's an esoterica thing. It's but I think you're probably technically right. But
yeah, it's nobody's touched this legally. This is still technically unsolved legal information. And the Supreme Court, when they went into the Aereo case, specifically said we're dealing with this one little issue, and we're not hitting any of these other issues until we can get a case that squares up those issues so we can look at that specifically. So this is all technically legal until deemed not legal, thus legally gray, and breaks.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. I didn't record anything, but I was thinking to myself, I want to watch this. This is a good movie. Why can't I do what I used to do and record that movie off of the HBO? And technically I could have. There's even services out there that make it easier. So just, it was an interesting thought.
Yeah, well, like you said, there is a way around any copy protection, any security out there. It's just a question of, is it legal and is it something that you want to deal with? And also, to my point earlier, what's the likelihood you're going to nerf your computer with viruses in the attempt to get the software or whatever it takes to do such thing?
Yeah.
That's what sandboxing is for, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
All right.
Not that I condone illegal behavior.
The VOD Squad does not condone illegal activity, nor are we here to facilitate such actions.
But Sergeant Muffin might be doing that.
I didn't see that. We can't be
Squad
held
takes no
accountable if I didn't see
responsibility
it.
for
I didn't
Sergeant
see it.
Muffin's-
No, clear chat. No record. All right. Anything else? We move on
Bad
to
Weeds got it.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. So rants and raves. You guys got anything you want to shout about?
I'll mention something. I mention, maybe I already did 2 weeks ago. Iron Fist. I don't know if I mentioned it or not.
Yep, we talked about it.
I've watched quite a bit of it, and I've really enjoyed it.
You like that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's been lambasted quite a bit. I mean, even the people that didn't hate it, like Tom Merritt said, he watched the whole thing, but he can't say he would recommend it or that it was a good show because he fell asleep in parts of it and didn't feel like he missed anything.
There were a couple episodes I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't bother to go back because it was like, I'm pretty sure that nothing happened because they're essentially in the same place they were when I fell asleep.
See, I would say that I haven't seen all of the episodes yet. I'm still not completely done, but I have enjoyed every episode. I do feel like there are some pacing issues, that it does occasionally go slower than it needs to. But at the same time, I feel like that's part of what I enjoy about it, is that it is an interesting and relaxed approach to an action show. It is a much less action show. Like Daredevil is like 75% dark alleys beating the crap out of people, and 25% the drama and whatnot. And I enjoy Daredevil, but this is the opposite. It's like 75% his interactions with the world and how he's coping and how the people around him are dealing with their lives, and 25% of it is some really cool action. So I enjoyed it.
And I agree with you. As I mentioned the last time, of all of the Marvel universe shows on Netflix, this is the first one I didn't hate. Which is with my track record, the fact that everybody hated it and I kind of liked it, I think that's on par. It wasn't the best thing, but that being said, I started watching it, and a little while later I said, I should probably, I thought it was like an episode, maybe 2 in, and I paused it and I was on episode 6. So, I mean, it was kind of wishy-washy at parts, so you just kind of want to pop him. And there were a couple characters that didn't really fit, or didn't play right for me, but for the most part, I didn't mind it. So, rock on.
So it's worth adding to my queue.
May as well.
if you like it, then you'll like it. If you don't, then don't finish watching.
I
mean,
yeah,
How
I know.
many episodes would it take for you to figure out that you liked it or not? You think
Probably
like two
two.
episodes? You'll find out.
it establishes its pace and its sentiment pretty quickly. Maybe 2, because
Yeah.
it's not the second episode that
Because you
you start to
finish the first episode and you're kind of like, I don't know. And you might need a second one to really decide one way or the other.
Okay.
see. You don't see what makes him a Marvel character until the second episode.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And so maybe that is necessary, but it is, it pretty quickly establishes the tone and the pace of the show.
Cool.
You just don't get to see quite as much of the cool action until the second episode, probably.
Yeah. I'll add it to my queue.
Cool.
Well, I guess I'll go next. One of the things I'm going to rave about is probably one of the things that Clyde will rave about is Bosch. Bosch coming up this weekend. I think you mentioned it earlier, right? So really looking forward to the 3rd season of that. Also, too, the next season of Silicon Valley is coming out this weekend as well, right? So looking forward to that one as well. Watch all those episodes. I'm a HBO subscriber. So yeah, I'll be enjoying that this weekend as well.
Yeah. Rock on. Yeah. As I started in on my rant a little premature, but as I was saying, I picked up the capture card because originally I'd wanted to use it to offload some of the encoding off my CPU, right? Which is all good and fine if you're going to be recording video locally and then editing it, whatever later, because it does H.264 awesomely. But I didn't really think about the fact that when we stream, we're using X.264, which is CPU only. So on that front, I was like, okay, I resigned myself, not a big deal, whatever. Because I still wanted a capture card that now I don't have to switch, uses. When I hit that HDCP, I just about lost it. I was like, God damn it. But on the bright side, this last weekend, I've mentioned a couple times that I don't get I've never understood the need to send something from my phone to a screen, right?
Oh, really?
If I'm going to watch something on the screen, I will sit down, pick up my remote, and then turn it on. I don't need... I've never kind of understood that until this weekend. Because my kids live in YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized I control them hard. Because YouTube has a playlist that they can't access on the Roku.
Oh no.
So I kept putting stuff in their playlist and they were just like freaking out, like they're yelling at each other like, why are you making me watch this? I'm not doing it. And then that baby shark video, they watched that started playing like 4 times. At one point I will see if I can find it, but I had to go to the grocery store. And I'm driving down the street. I am around the block. I'm about a mile away. And I get a text that says... I don't know if you can see it. It just says, you! From my daughter. But, and I was laughing. I was laughing so hard. But... They now have smartphones and they now know they can do that, which was kind of my reasoning. I wanted them to figure that stuff out on their own, but not figure it out. But so, yeah.
Your kids, are they old enough to have a couple bad words in a YouTube video?
Yeah.
Okay.
They went to dinner. They went to dinner with me on last Friday and a bunch of my car buddies. And that was just like F-bomb city, so that'll be okay.
So you should then queue up Sad Cat Diary. Make sure they get that one. That one's hilarious.
All right. All right.
I got something I want to rant.
Oh no, you don't get anything.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I hate Skype.
I think you're the only person in the world that has that opinion.
No, you just see this last week I got myself a computer upgrade. Pretty happy about it. It's upstairs, my machine upstairs. This is great. I can play on it. It's a Ryzen 5 processor. I've got it so I could do all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, so I brought the other computer down here, and I was going to okay, this will be a good streaming box. I don't have a Windows a copy of Windows. I'll just throw Linux on it. Cool. Put Linux on it. Got it working. Got my camera on it. Did a testing with it. Did a little testing on Skype back and forth. The only version of Skype that works with video, by the way, is the web version. You can't use the client. It doesn't even do any kind of video. I don't know why. Anyways. So it's the web version, that's fine. I'll do that. And so tonight we got here. I ate dinner and I came down going, I got to get going. But I turned on the Linux box, opened up the Skype window, turned it on, and said, "Hey guys, can you see me?" And of course, they all said, "No." What are you doing? So I'm crawling underneath my desk and trying to figure out what's going on. I say, "Okay, I swear this was working. I don't know what it's not working about it, but it's my Linux box." And then Clyde, of course, says, "It can't do group chat." Microsoft, looking at you. Damn you. Damn you all to hell.
If you just run it on the proper platform that it was designed for,
it works
you
better on
wouldn't
my
have
Android
these
phone.
issues. Just saying.
Yeah, the walled garden of
we use something other than Skype. I'm just saying.
But if you go back in our conversations about 2 months ago, I offered up an alternative to you guys, and no one responded.
I am totally for it, but whatever.
All right. Hey, you got a new episode you just posted recently, didn't you?
From the Talking
of your
Nerdy?
show, yeah.
No, the last one was the one we talked about last week. I have not posted one since then.
But that was the best episode, wasn't it?
It was a pretty good episode.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know who that guy was. But
I don't know. It's that hobo,
yeah,
like internet Jesus guy.
Yeah, exactly.
the guy with long hair.
But in the meantime, I've been playing with capturing my gaming. I'm a crappy gamer, but that's okay. On my brand new machine, one of the reasons I got the Ryzen is because I can do the streaming on it, and trying to figure out the settings and make it look good. You saw it in the middle of the night, so just playing it up, put it on YouTube, and we'll probably talk a little bit about that in my next episode.
Rock on, you got another episode? You got plans to stream soon, or?
Someday soon. I probably will do it next couple days.
Well, everybody follow him on YouTube. That way you know when he's good. That's how I found you. My phone said Matt Ross is streaming now. I went, okay. And then Joe Munn shows up. So I'm pretty sure he was in the same boat. Just said, whatever. But that's talkingnerdy.com, right, for your site?
Talking-nerdy.com.
Right. Yeah, well, hey, this Saturday, we are having the next movie party. DCTV, DiamondClub.tv at 9 p.m. Central on, is it April? Yeah, April 22nd. Yeah. I couldn't remember what month. I almost said March. Don't go to last month. We won't be there. April 22nd. Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central, we are down to the 2 finalists for that movie. So everybody go out and vote at DC Movie Party on Twitter. We are down to Kung Fu and Titties versus the Greasy Strangler.
Ooh.
I'm rooting for the Greasy Strangler, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I think. It sounds like we may have even more people than we had last time, which was, I think, our record. So come on out. It's a good time. Otherwise, we will be back next week, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, our usual time, right here on Diamond Club TV. Thanks to Sergeant Muffin for making this, even possible. Thank you for Jotmon for making our chat room usable. Thank you for everybody else hanging out. Bad Weave. And I think Not Leon's out there. Wabbit Magic. I know Wabbit Magic's listening. So, yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. We will see you later.
Bye, again.
Later.
All right.